What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Fight Chaos. Today, let's get started with some of the latest UFC news, as a lot has been going on in MMA these days. Charles Oliveira rejects retirement rumors. Charles Oliveira makes it clear that retirement has never crossed his mind, despite constant questions about it. He says the talk doesn't come from him, but from journalists who keep bringing it up. Oliveira adds that he's unsure whether people think he's performing poorly or just want him gone, but insists he's still fully focused on fighting. Charles Oliveira said, "Actually, retirement comes from your journalist's mind. At no point did I think about retiring, but every time I give an interview, I don't know if I'm fighting badly or if you want me to retire. I don't know what's going on because every interview I gave came up with retirement. I never considered it. I never thought about it." Dan Hooker calls out Arman Tsarukyan's attitude. Dan Hooker criticizes Arman Tsarukyan, saying he acts entitled and has never faced real struggles. He thinks Arman is more focused on fame and social media attention, while he fights to provide for his family. Hooker also warns that if Arman ever approaches him like he did with Bobby Green, the fight will be cancelled.
He's just like a lippy little rich kid that's had everything handed to him in his life, and he thinks he can go around and like, it's like, I'm just saying, if there's a repeat, like there's a video of him walking up on Bobby Green and like getting in his face like before the fight, and obviously he doesn't need the money from these UFC fights, you know what I mean? He does this for attention and Instagram likes. Like, he doesn't fight to feed his family. Like, I fight to provide for my family. Bobby Green provides for his family through fighting. So him coming up in his face, obviously Bobby Green's not going to lash out and he's going to keep it professional. I'm just saying, if he walks up on me like he walked up on Bobby Green, the fight is cancelled and the UFC has been full. I might actually write that in my contract.
Arman Tsarukyan threatens Dan Hooker. Arman Tsarukyan believes Dan Hooker's bold words are only meant for the spotlight. He says he isn't distracted by the talk and will arrive with his team prepared for anything. Tsarukyan makes it clear that when the cage door closes, he intends to control the fight from start to finish and earn a decisive victory.
Actually, we are fighters, you know.
Sure.
Maybe he's gonna talk a lot, but a lot of brothers coming, and hopefully he's gonna they gonna stop me, you know.
Oh my.
And yeah, I shouldn't do some crazy things. I just gotta be focused because I'm gonna have 25 minutes to beat his ass.
When you say brothers, you mean your team, right?
Yeah, this time a lot of people comes to Qatar. They don't need a visa, so this time we're gonna have a bunch of people from Russia, from Armenia, so I'm gonna have a big team.
On the other hand, Dan Hooker laughed off Tsarukyan's claim about bringing a large team to Qatar, saying he wasn't intimidated by that at all. He explained that he'd been through worse situations and never relied on others to handle his problems. Hooker emphasized that if there's ever an issue, he'd rather face it himself than send anyone else to deal with it.
Like, it's like, I'm just saying, if there's a repeat, like there's a video of him walking up on Bobby Green and like getting in his face like before the fight, and obviously he doesn't need the money from these UFC fights, you know what I mean? He does this for attention and Instagram likes. Like, he doesn't fight to feed his family. Like, I fight to provide for my family. Bobby Green provides for his family through fighting. So him coming up in his face, obviously Bobby Green's not going to lash out and he's going to keep it professional. I'm just saying, if he walks up on me like he walked up on Bobby Green, the fight is cancelled and the UFC has been full. I might actually write that in my contract.
However, Arman Tsarukyan also admits that facing Dan Hooker is a tougher test than fighting Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje. He points out that Hooker's striking style makes things complicated for wrestlers, as his long reach and sharp kicks make it difficult to get in close without taking damage.
Для меня, если честно, все бои сложные, потому что столько тренировок, тренировочный лагерь, весогонка. Потом тебе драться надо. Он высокий, конечности длинные, довольно хорошо стал защищаться от партера, встает хорошо, набрал неплохо. То есть, ну, то, что он не умеет бороться, вот это самое. Именно в вольной борьбе он защищается не так хорошо. Вот этим и нужно брать. Но если бы я выбирал, я бы, конечно, выбрал бы Пимблета или Гейджа. С ним поудобнее, чем с Хукером. Так как Хукер очень высокий, с такими чуть тяжело драться. Тяжелее подойти, они на дистанции отстреливаются. Такие мерзкие удары ногами у него. Сдалека бьет типы хорошо. Для борцов чуть неудобные удары.
TJ Dillashaw says he's excited to see Merab Dvalishvili face Umar Nurmagomedov again, believing Umar is one of the few who can truly test Merab's ground game. He points out that unlike most wrestlers, Merab's pace and pressure make his fights exciting rather than dull. Dillashaw admires how Merab keeps attacking non-stop, saying his energy turns wrestling into something fans actually enjoy watching.
You have to shoot on him as well. I think that's a mistake that a lot of guys make, is that they're not shooting on him. Yeah. Umar did, though. That's why I want to see him fight Umar again, right? Because someone needs to take him down and hold him down. Who knows like how good his bottom game is? I don't know. It's kind of crazy that usually when you watch a wrestling grappling guy, people hate watching it and it's boring, but not a Merab. He makes it entertaining. Even though all he's doing is taking you down, he makes it entertaining.
Yeah,
you know?
And he fights hard the whole fight.
Yeah. He's not just like stalling. He's never stalling.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, great job, great win.
Carlos Olberg says he'd love to see Alex Pereira win a third UFC title, calling it an incredible achievement. He respects Pereira's humble attitude and calm demeanor, saying he relates to him as a true warrior. Olberg adds that while he supports Pereira's success, he also hopes their paths cross inside the octagon one day.
I really hope that Pereira gets his third title, because that'd just be massive. He's a good dude. He doesn't trash talk or anything, and I see a lot of myself in someone like him. So he's a warrior, and I really hope that he gets that title, but I also hope that I get to fight him too.
Walter Walker used his opponent's photos as his phone wallpaper to stay disciplined. Each morning when his alarm went off, seeing their faces reminded him that they were training hard too. That small push helped him get out of bed and stay focused on preparing for his next fight.
Это мой соперник, да? Каждый раз, когда я напишу контракт, я делаю это, соперника фото. Аларм, 7 утра, кодно, ты не хочешь вставать, и ты смотри твой соперника. О, он же готов, брат, и ты надо проспаться.
Chael Sonnen urges John Jones to target Alex Pereira's title. Chael Sonnen suggests that John Jones should go after Alex Pereira's light heavyweight belt instead of staying at heavyweight. He believes Jones could demand that the fight take place at 205 pounds, turning their potential showdown into a championship clash. Sonnen thinks such a move would make the matchup far more significant and reshape how fans view it.
Let me give you the hot take of the day. If I'm in John Jones's shoes and I hear this and I feel this buzz and there's this huge fight and it has all of a sudden got my interest, but there's no title on the line, I can fix that real fast. I can say, I will fight you, and I'll even find a world title, because it's going to be yours. I'll see you at 205 pounds. And if John Jones does that, my partner, we're having a very different conversation.
Oh, chill. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Daniel Cormier firmly believes Merab Dvalishvili stands above every other bantamweight in UFC history. He says Merab's dominance and consistency separate him from the rest, leaving no debate about who deserves the top spot in the division's legacy.
And I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, look, man, all credit to the greats. Dominic Cruz being the one that I believe was the greatest bantamweight of all time by far when you combine everything he did in the WEC and everything he did in the UFC. There is no doubt in my mind that Merab Dvalishvili is the greatest bantamweight that has ever fought in the UFC, Chael. And I don't know, you know the history of the game a little better than me. But from my eyes, I've never seen anybody better in this weight class.
Arman Tsarukyan explains that he requested a top contender fight, but the UFC told him Justin Gaethje wasn't willing to take it. Determined to stay busy, he agreed to face whoever stepped up, and Dan Hooker accepted the challenge. Tsarukyan admits Gaethje was his first choice, but claims that either matchup would bring him an easy payday.
So I was asking about the title fight, and they said this year either he's not gonna fight, so that's why I said I'll fight to anybody, because I haven't fought a long time, so I wanna fight. And Dan Hooker, Gaethje, works for me, these names. And finally, Gaethje, like I heard, like Gaethje said no, and Hooker said yes, so we are in.
Okay, so was Gaethje the top choice?
Gaethje would be better, but for me it doesn't matter. It's both of them. It's just easy money for me.
Arman Tsarukyan believes Justin Gaethje refused to face him because he didn't want to risk a loss. He says it would be unfair if Gaethje still earned a title shot after turning the fight down, though he admits the final call rests with the UFC. Tsarukyan adds that his next bout will probably decide the next title challenger, even if it hasn't been formally confirmed.
Do you know why Gaethje said no?
But he knows he could lose to me.
Right. Do you think he's going to get a title shot as a result of saying no? That seems to be the rumor.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad to me, you know.
You mean it's going to be a one-sided fight?
I mean, we'll see how I fight, how like my fight goes, but for sure our fight is #1 contender.
When you accepted the fight, did they tell you that? Did they say, okay, it's done November 22nd and it's going to be #1 contender, or did you find out like all of us?
No, they didn't say like this is #1 contender fight, but like Dana said last weekend,
Yeah,
it's a #1 contender fight. But you know, like we know they can do whatever they want to do. So
Sean O'Malley insists he's the only fighter capable of stopping Merab Dvalishvili. He explains that Merab can only be beaten by a clean knockout, something he believes his accuracy and timing can deliver. O'Malley points out that as Merab grows bolder with his striking, he also becomes easier to hit, creating the perfect opportunity for a sharp counterpuncher like him.
To beat Merab, you just have to land that shot. You have to be able to fucking snipe him. And he was getting a little bit more reckless. The more confident he gets into striking, the more gaps it leaves open to be caught. That's just the only. I don't see really anyone being. I do think I'm the only one. I hate to say it. I hate to fucking say it. I'm the only one that can beat him. They give me a shot at the White House. Now I gotta go out there and get some wins. But I don't see anyone really beating Merab anytime soon. He needs to be clipped, needs to be knocked out and put to sleep to beat him. And I just don't really see anyone other than myself being able to do that.
Bilal Muhammad says Merab Dvalishvili has brought new life to the lower weight classes through his relentless fighting style. He believes Umar Nurmagomedov is the only one capable of matching Merab's pace and wrestling skills, calling their previous meeting a razor-close battle. Despite the rivalry between them, Muhammad notes that both men are respectful and credits Merab for making the lighter divisions must-watch once again.
I do think he'll probably have to get one more because Merab is calling for Peter Yan. And if he calls for him in December, Umar's not going to go in December after October. So I see him getting Peter Yan next. But I do think it's one of those where Umar is going to be his closest competition in there just because the wrestling was so even. The scrambling was so great in that fight. It was, all of it was a very close fight. And I know Merab doesn't give him the credit. They have a beef with each other. And it's the funniest thing because they're both, literally Umar's one of the nicest guys in the world, Merab is one of the nicest guys in the world, and they just don't like each other. But it's competition. So I want to see how that division plays out. I want to see if Merab gets his 4th win in the calendar year as a champion. It's crazy. But yeah, man, Merab is making the little guys exciting again.
Mario Bautista feels his fight with Umar Nurmagomedov will push every part of his game to the limit. He points out that Umar isn't a typical wrestler, describing his movement and striking as fast, fluid, and unpredictable. Bautista explains that to win, he'll need to stay sharp both on the feet and on the ground, since Umar brings danger from every angle.
The 3-round fight on 321, is it not?
Yes, it'll be a 3-rounder, yeah. Which
Okay.
I mean, I would have preferred the 5-round fight against Umar, like,
Right.
and one, I've kind of seen him fade in the later rounds, and then 2, like I just want that next step up, you know, the little, you know, say I go out there and smoke Umar, and then I'm right into a 5-round title fight with Umar, not Umar, Merab. So like it would have been nice to get like a little, you know, little feel for it, but it is what it is, and you know, we'll see what happens next.
Mario Bautista says his upcoming fight with Umar Nurmagomedov is set for 3 rounds, but he would rather face him in a 5-round match. He believes Umar tends to slow down in the later rounds, which could play to his advantage. Bautista adds that a strong performance over 3 rounds would position him perfectly for a full-length title fight against Merab Dvalishvili.
Stylistically, how are you looking at this fight with you and Umar? Because, you know, you think of the Dagestanis, you always think of wrestling, but he's a lot more than that as far as just, you know, kind of that stereotypical Dagestani fighter.
No, that's 100% true. Yeah, he's not just like Khabib, you know, he has this stand up to him. It's kind of almost karate taekwondo style, kind of bouncy, a lot of, you know, kicks, fast kicks. So he does have good stand up. He was able to, you know, stand up with Corey Sandhagen for the majority of their fight. So he does have some great stand up. So You know, this is going to be an up down kind of fight. I'm going to have to be on point everywhere. You know, this isn't something where I could go in and like against Patchy and I'm just going to keep it standing up and you know, win the fight that way. This is going to be an all around kind of fight. So that's the type of fight I have to prepare for.
That's all for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more UFC news and updates.